Today we're going to make a family passport wallet. We need 2 pieces of fabric, one for the main fabric, one for the lining. Those are cut 9.5 by 10.5 inches. We need some interfacing to go on the underside of these 2 fabrics, so it needs to be 9.5 by 10.5. Actually, maybe just a little smidgen smaller, maybe 1/8 of an inch smaller, so when you iron it on, it doesn't go over the edge. We also need some fabrics for the pockets. I chose 3 different fabrics. You can use the same fabrics for all 3 if you'd like, but you need 3 of them, and they need to be 8.5 by 9.5 inches. You'll need a button and then some kind of elastic piece, and this is for the closure when we close the passport. The first thing we need to do is get the interfacing onto the main fabric and the lining fabric. So follow the directions on your interfacing packaging and go ahead and get that applied to the front fabric and the lining fabric, and we'll be right back. We're going to work on the pockets next. This is the 9.5 side, this is the 8.5 side. The 8.5 side is going to be folded here. And let's iron that down in half. We're going to do that with all 3. Alright, I have all 3 of those ironed. Now let's grab the lining. We're going to be sewing the pockets on here. I'm going to have this my bottom pocket, I think this my middle pocket, and this my top pocket. I don't need the bottom one yet. We're going to move that out of the way. Okay, what we're going to do, we're going to mark 2 inches up on each side. So I'm just going to mark it with a pencil. It's just a little mark I need. So I've marked that 2 inches. I'm not sure you can see it, but I can see it here. What we're going to do, this is going to seem a little bit counterintuitive, but we're going to put this middle pocket, this is the second pocket, not the bottom, right along that marking of that 2 inches, because I'm going to sew it right there. Now, if you notice, the open edges are facing away from me. I'm on the 2-inch spot. I'm going to go and take a 1/4 inch straight stitch right there. Alright, that one has been stitched. I'm going to go up another 2 inches. I'm going to go from the edging, not necessarily from the stitching. Oops. And let's mark another 2 inches up. So now we're going to take our top pocket and put it along that marking we have. And then I'm going to do another 1/4 inch straight stitch right there. Right, I have that second pocket stitched right there. Now what I'm going to do, I need to grab my iron, and I'm going to iron these pockets up. This one and this one. And then we'll worry about our other one in just a minute. Alright, I've ironed those up. Now we need to grab our bottom pocket. Now this one, we're going to face the raw edges facing down. Okay, so the fold is up at the top, like the other 2 are now. And go ahead and another 1/4 of an inch seam down at the bottom. Oh my goodness, I forgot a step. Alright, we're going to do this real quick. Thank goodness we didn't sew it together. I forgot to top stitch these. We need to, it's not too late. Just put it like that. Go ahead and put a top stitch here, and then do it with each one of these. Oh my goodness. What we'll do now is we're going to be sewing it all together. So let's go ahead and put the backing, the main fabric I should say, on there and even that up. We need to go ahead and stitch all the way around, leave a space for turning, but we need to work with our elastic band for our closure first. So I'm going to cut off, if you have a metal piece, cut that out of there. Okay, so I've cut that off. We're going to place that on the right side of the pockets, and we're going to put it in this middle pocket just about a 1/4 inch from the top, well, maybe 1/2 inch. Let's pin that down or clip that down, and then go ahead and sew all the way around and leave a 1/4 inch for turning. Alright, I have mine all sewed down. I left my spot at the bottom for turning. We need to clip the corners, and then we're going to turn it inside out. Alright, I went ahead and turned it inside or right side out. My loop is hanging out, which is perfect. We need to go ahead and get that bottom closed up. So go ahead and fold this under your 1/4 of an inch. Press it, a nice sharp press, and then go ahead and stitch it closed. Well, since we're stitching it closed, we might as well do our top stitch at the same time for the rest of it. So when you get that fold it under, and after it's pressed, I think that'll look good if I press it like that. I'm going to do a top stitch all the way around the whole thing. All right, I've gone ahead and top stitched all the way around it. I reinforced the elastic. Probably should have done that earlier. Now we need to get to the center point. We're going to measure in 4.5 inches from the edge, and we need to make ourselves a straight line. I'm going to go ahead and stitch right up that middle. All right, so I have the center line done. Now I'm going to stitch a 1/4 inch from that center line over here, and then a 1/4 inch move over here. All right, I have my 1/4 inch seam, my 3 seams up the middle here. Now we need to find our spot for our button, and we'll put our button on. So go ahead and fold it over. And then fold your elastic over. Depending on the size of your elastic's going to depend on where you're going to place your button. If you have a shorter piece, it's going to be closer to the edge. If you have a longer piece, it's going to go farther in. So I'm looking here, and it looks like probably right here is going to be a good spot. When you sew your button, you need to go down in the very top pocket, down in here. If you sew under this pocket, you're not going to be able to access that space. So when you put the button on, make sure you're sewing from inside the top pocket. All right, you have your family passport wallet.